Hi, hello. Hi, everybody, all the people and animals, for those who let their pets watch TV, I guess. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. What is that channel? Let's get into it. So, it's June 2020, which means we've been in lockdown for some time now, and I guess being in lockdown, I've had some time to think, some time to reflect, some time to just time. And one of the things that I've felt like I'm spending a lot of time on is YouTube. And YouTube is huge. YouTube is how I learned to crochet, and I do a lot of crocheting. YouTube is where I learned about pregnancy fitness, how to labor. All my fitness regime is from YouTube. YouTube is where I pass time and just watch videos of, I don't know, people sitting down like me and talking to you or me. Yeah, I just find like YouTube has so much going on. The only thing I didn't find in YouTube is that you don't find many Kenyans like me speaking about things that I am about to speak about. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I've started to reflect on, and I've had very interesting conversations with people that's made me feel like maybe I should have a channel. So, a bit about myself. I'm Kenyan. I'm married. I have a baby, 10-month baby girl. Yeah, I've been a mom for 10 months. It still feels weird saying it, but it's true. Oh, one more thing. I spend pretty much half and half of my time in 2 countries, except for now that I'm stuck in Nairobi because of the lockdown. But we've been back and forth, my husband and I, in both our countries for about 6-7 years. And in this lockdown, I found that I've reflected a lot on the choices that we've made, the way that we live our lives, the way that we live our lives, and the way we're raising our baby, especially surrounding the way we're raising our baby. Like, how do you raise a child who's biracial, multicultural, in 2 cultures, and wanting her to have the best of both? But outside of that, how do you like raise a child in general? The choices that we've made, my husband and I, we found people in both countries saying how different we are, the way that we've chosen to do things, especially surrounding our baby. And I felt like I need to talk about it because I don't feel like what we're doing is weird or the choices we've made are unique. I mean, what we're doing is not new, but there's some things that we've done that not many people can connect with or relate to or find weird or foreign. I keep hearing the word foreign in both countries. So what I'm doing in Kenya might be like, oh, that's what you would do in that other country. But when I'm not in Kenya, there's some other things which is like, oh, maybe it's because you're Kenyan. And it's like, no, it's because I'm human. And I've just made some choices which work for me. So maybe they'll work for you as well. This channel, I think, is going to be dedicated to mainly surrounding parenting, and especially for someone who either is thinking about having a baby or has a baby or is pregnant and has been thinking about doing the things that I'm going to talk about. So what are those things? First of all, having a baby, we're raising in 2 countries, and how we're going to make that work. Pregnancy fitness. So when I was pregnant, I exercised throughout my pregnancy, and I've always been really active and I've always exercised, but then I found that exercising through my pregnancy was fantastic. And I know like not everyone can do this because I had a pretty easy pregnancy, but it was so good and it really helped me and it made me feel so much better, and I pretty much exercised until the day my water broke. But I found that in the time that I was doing that, I think twice it happened or 3 times, when someone would come up to me and pull me to the side and be like, what are you doing? Are you insane? Why are you here? You should be lying in bed, just resting and waiting for this baby to pop. And I think maybe it's because my belly was so big. My belly was really big. And I think, you know, for many people, they just didn't associate being pregnant with being active. So that's something which I felt like, no, it's good to be active, and it's really helped me, and my doctor has okayed it, and I know I'm doing fine. But then every time I spoke about it, even with my own friends and my family, they still thought it was weird that I was still moving around and jumping around. And I think, it's worth having the conversation, because if you go on YouTube, you find moms-to-be who are doing lots of videos on fitness during pregnancy, and yet it's not people like me. It's not Africans, it's not Kenyans. So I felt like, no, there's a conversation there. Maybe we should have a conversation. So that's one thing. Then also the fact that I gave birth at home. So I gave birth in my spare room, which is now my baby's room, and that's something which even my own family thought, what the hell? But there's a lot of things that led to that decision, and I feel like it's a conversation worth having, especially since there's so many misconceptions when it comes to giving birth, so many lies we've been told. But that's a whole other video. I'll link it somewhere once it's ready. Another thing is using cloth nappies. So we use cloth nappies by choice, but that's something else which, especially in this country, like where people are like, why are you using cloth nappies? Are you poor? Is something wrong? I mean, I can understand where it's coming from, because most people associate using disposable diapers, Pampers and Huggies and whatever the brands are out there with being in vogue or keeping up with the times. And so if you're using cloth nappies, either you can't afford it or you're, I don't know, old school. But then I feel like there's so many good things about using cloth nappies, which even I had to find out when I was pregnant, that people don't know about. And people are struggling to pay for their baby's diapers when there's such a much better, cheaper option. But then again, this is the choices we made that worked for us. I'm going to be sharing about that. Interesting discussions I've had. For example, one time we took an Uber and I was talking to my baby. I mean, I usually talk to my baby in Swahili. And I was just saying like, keti vizuri, tunaenda home, like something like that, just the way we talk to each other. And the taxi driver turned to me and was like, why are you speaking to your baby in Swahili? And I thought, what? Basically, he thought it was weird I was speaking to her in Swahili because she was white. And I was like, but I'm her mom. So this is what I speak. I speak a lot of Swahili. What am I supposed to speak to my child? And then to him, he was just like, yeah, but I see people don't speak to their children in Swahili. It wasn't just that interaction, but I've had several interactions with people, including family members, believe it or not, who've asked me, why do I speak Swahili to my biracial child? And it's got me thinking, where did this notion of speaking only English to your child come from? Why is it that we are completely just sticking to one language? Like we're so privileged. And this is the other thing, I feel like from reflecting in lockdown, but also because of having lived in two countries, I know that when I'm in the UK, people say things like, oh, it's so cool that you speak more than one language. Oh, I wish I could speak another language. And it's something which is to be revered and envied. And yet I come back home and nobody wants to be teaching their children Swahili or Kikuyu or Kisii or whatever tribe you are. It's fine if that's what you want to do and you have your reasons, that's fine, you do you. But then why come and ask me what I'm doing and why I'm doing it? If you've chosen to do that with your child, that's you. But don't ask me why I've chosen to teach my child more than just one language. That's just an example of many discussion points that I found popping up from interactions I've had with people and generally surrounding my child. So speaking to her in Swahili is just one of them. Why we haven't pierced her ears. Why we give birth at home. Oh, another thing. We didn't buy any clothes for our baby. All of our clothes have been hand-me-downs and gifts from friends and family. And that I found has sparked conversation with even strangers. And the thing I love about being in Kenya is people speak their minds, which is a good thing and also a bad thing, but it's also a good thing because you know what people are thinking. But then, my goodness, it just makes you feel like we need to have a conversation because people are very generous with their opinions, even when they don't even know you. We get people just coming up and pointing out things and questioning things and giving unsolicited advice, which makes me feel like it's coming more from ignorance and myths and history and tradition than it is from fact and helpful advice. A lot of the times it's people who don't really know what they're saying, but they just feel like they have to say it. I feel like at the end of the day, it could be cool to have a conversation and maybe we can learn from each other and you can tell me what you think. We can say what we're doing and how we're living and the choices we've made, and there's going to be a lot of choices which we're going to get a lot of judgment on. I'll still share them and maybe it'll help someone and maybe someone will connect with those choices, which is going to be good. There might be someone saying, this is crazy, but it sounds like something I could try and maybe it'll be good, or just saying, oh, you know, I've seen this on YouTube, but I've seen it, I thought it was like something that foreigners did, or like it was only done abroad, and you know, it's interesting to see that actually there's Kenyans like us who are doing them. That's going to be good, because if it makes you feel like you're comfortable to try some of these things out, then that's great. If it helps you, if it works for you the same way it's worked for us, I'm happy to have that discussion. And generally just like learn from each other, because obviously I'm no authority on parenting, I'm no authority on relationships. If we end up going there, we'll see. We're learning as we go. We're all going through this journey together, and there's a lot of things which maybe I might impart on whoever's watching or chooses to watch, and maybe there's stuff that I can also learn from you, from the comments, from the feedback. I feel like it's going to be so good if we can come out the other side more empowered, more informed, and just, you know, growing. Growth is beautiful. So welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to share my pregnancy transformation. I took lots of videos about my pregnancy transformation, which I've just been sitting on, didn't know what to do with them. Now that I'm having a YouTube channel, it's going to be great to share that, see what you people think, and just show you that it's fine, it's beautiful, and it's fun. So if it inspires you, future mom to be, or if it inspires you, pregnant woman, or just whoever you are, dude that is happily watching and living vicariously through me, great. I mean, at the end of the day, if this channel ends up creating a conversation around being a better mom and dad, we'll share our journey, both my husband and I, and everything that we went through. And if that ends up inspiring you or making you think or rethink your choices, and maybe it ends up working for you, great. I'm really excited to be sharing this stuff. At the end of the day, we learn from each other, we grow. So welcome to my channel. Hit subscribe, like, share, all that stuff.